Well, hello guys, and welcome back to the part 2. Let's play Endless Legends, the Roving Clans. Alright, so, in the last part, folks, we went down to the south in this region over here. I believe the region is called Rondaria? Yeah. And we successfully pacified this little minor faction of Nydia over here. And now that we have done that, we can move on to my next quest, which is supposed to be, what I have to do is I have to get an Ardent Mage's hero from the marketplace, which I'm going to need some gold for that. I'm going to need actually almost 400 gold to be precise. And it actually looks like right now we don't have any Ardent Mages here, so we're actually going to have to wait until the marketplace gets populated with some more. And that does happen. Over time, in Endless Legends, the marketplace will replace units that have been purchased and also just put brand new units all together inside the units page and also in the heroes tab. So if you're playing as the Roving Clans and you find that the hero that you need to complete the next main faction quest isn't here, just wait a little while. They'll show up eventually. It's not really that big a deal. There's not really much you can do about it. Sometimes you just kind of get dealt a bad hand. Alright, so next thing is I'm actually going to start exploring a little bit more, because right now we have a decent stockpile of gold from all the ruins we went to. However, we're not producing a lot, and the next thing we're going to be focusing on is getting some more gold, or sorry, I keep calling it gold. We're going to get some more dust into our population, and then after that we'll probably figure out what we want to do next. Alright, so let's go to the left. I want to see what's over here. I like to explore the regions kind of surrounding my faction, surrounding my starting region before I do anything else, because it gives me a good idea of where I want to expand next. Usually with my second city as the Roving Clans, I like to go for a place, depending on what my starting region has, I like to go for a place typically that has a lot of dust and then a lot of science. Now, that is in the case of if this starting region that I'm in has a lot of food already, what I do is I like to pick up this city right here, my first starting city, and move it to a place with more dust and science, and then put my new city right down where it used to be, so it can grow really quickly, and then I pick that one up, replace that one with a new settler, and then move it again. So I kind of do like this little cycling thing where I grow a city, leave it in a place with a lot of food, but maybe not necessarily a lot of anything else, and then once it's grown a sufficient amount, I pick it up and I move it somewhere else where it can adequately serve my empire, and then I put a new city down where that one was, and then I move that one, and so forth. It's like a chain kind of thing that I just do in circles. You know, it's a cycle. So, okay. Alright, now let's keep moving. It looks like there's a ruin over here, and there is the temple ruin, so next turn we'll get to that and see what we've got going on there. And then right now we're producing a seed storage, which is going to improve the amount of food my city here is going to be getting per turn. And then once that comes up, we should be able to adequately grow the city pretty quickly. Now, I typically, like I said, I think I said this in the last video, I typically go for a seed storage facility, and then I go for a mill foundry. However, because I picked a place that doesn't have a lot of dust, which is probably my bad, I decided to go for the Empire Mint after I got my seed storage facility first, just because I wanted to increase my overall dust gain before we got hit with winter. Alright, so it's end turn, and let's see what we're going to get next turn. Nothing will probably happen for right now. Okay, so the game is letting me know that a new Empire plan can be unlocked in 6 turns. Now, like I said, the Empire plan, you can't just activate it automatically. You have to actually wait for the game to let you do so. And it's telling me that in 6 turns I'm going to be able to spend influence points to activate an Empire plan. Now, I'm most likely not going to take advantage of this, because I typically like to stock up my influence points and wait until I get to tech level 2, because once I do that, I will be able to get the second Empire plan stuff. And the Empire plan second era ability on economy and population is really good for the Roving Clans, so I usually wait until I get that. Alright, so it looks like my 2 dervishes have actually leveled up to level 2, which is going to make them even stronger than they already are, so that's good. Considering my dervishes, like I said, are pretty weak, albeit they are still pretty strong because they have the charge ability, but they're probably one of the weaker units in the game. They, by ranking them up, that's going to make them a little bit sturdier, which is always good. Alright, so let's search this place. So this is telling me, by searching this ruin, it's giving me a quest where if I produce 40 industry in one of my cities for 10 turns, I'll get 20 influence. Well, that's going to be kind of hard, I think, considering we're not producing much industry to begin with. So I'm probably just going to ignore that quest for the time being and just keep exploring around and seeing what I can find. Okay, so we've got another Nydia village over here, 2 of them actually. Alright, so now that I've explored this region for the most part, I'm probably going to go north next turn. And while we're waiting for the turn, I'm actually going to take a look at the surrounding areas so I can figure out where I want to go. So a really nice place that I could move my next city would be like right here, because we get a lot of gold, a lot of dust, and then also a lot of science. You guys can see here we get +5 science from both of these. So my next city, I may place my next city right here, where this city was, and have it grow really quickly. I may either put it by the water, because that would be nice, because we'll get a lot of buildings that will increase my food and also dust gain when cities are close to water. So placing one right here wouldn't be a bad idea. Or I'll place it maybe up here by these tiles with a lot of food, and then just focus on getting it a lot of food really quickly and then moving it. So we'll decide that in a little bit, because I usually get my second city as the Roving clans by around turn 30 or 40, depending on how well I'm doing, or how badly I'm doing. I received a message from, oh, the Draken are complimenting me, how nice. Well, I'm not going to return the compliment, Draken, because one, I don't even know where you are, and secondly, you are going to be focusing on a diplomatic victory, so me helping your diplomatic cause is only going to hurt me in the end. Alright, so I'm producing negative income now, that's not good. We're going to have to deal with that. Okay. Now, we are done researching my latest thing, though, so we need to think of the next thing that I want to get. Now, sewer systems would be nice, because they increase the approval rating of your city that you build the sewer in by 20, and then they also give you an extra influence point when your city units, or sorry, when your overall empire is happy. However, you can see already, so basically the way the tech system works is that the more technology you research, the longer it takes you to research each subsequent technology. So as the game goes on, the more technologies I've researched, that's only going to increase the amount of research it's going to take to get technologies. So you need to try to keep your science up as much as possible, otherwise it's going to take you a ridiculously long amount of time to actually research anything. So I think in this case, the next best thing to get would probably be the public library, because that's going to give us an extra 10 science on a city that we build it, and also an extra 10% science, which by now, since we have the geomech labs researched, and once we build those, the public libraries should increase our science by a lot, because it gives you a percentage boost and also a flat bonus. So we'll get that, and then we'll probably, after that, get sewer systems, and then we'll need one more technology, and I think the next best thing would probably be the aqua pulvistics, because that's going to give us +2 dust on any terrain with a river, and also +3 dust on any terrain with sea or lakes, which will prove very useful in the late game, or actually, right as I start producing dust and building my cities on by the water, that's really going to help me. Okay, so the next thing we're going to get is we're going to get the Empire Mint, and it's going to take me 5 turns to produce that. If I could buy it out for 178 gold, but that's going to take most of my gold, so we're not going to do that. And then after that, we'll probably get a mill foundry, and I'm just going to kind of queue some things up, and then we'll probably get geometric labs. Yeah, that'll be good. And then let's rebuild the Jodas village over here so we can get their extra. Because so the nice bonus that you get is that when you rebuild, or when you pacify a settlement and then you rebuild it, if you destroy it, if you parlay with the settlement or bribe them and you pacify them peacefully, you don't have to rebuild them, and you automatically get the extra bonuses they provide. But if you destroy them, you need to rebuild them. But once I do this, they're going to provide me with an extra worker that I can use to help out my city over here. So I usually like to get this somewhere around like turn 30 or so, depending on, again, it's all relevant to how well I'm doing. And I actually played another game of the Roving Clans this morning before this to try out some new strategies, and I already have figured out a couple things I've done wrong. Or not wrong necessarily, but a couple things I could do better. But yeah, that's alright. Okay, so I got 10 dye from searching this ruin. Dye is actually a luxury resource. It provides some good bonuses. It actually will give my cities +5 approval, and also it'll give me a +50% bonus of influence, which is really nice. So I'm actually going to activate that right now. So that's going to give me an extra influence point and also give me some more happiness, which in turn will make it so I will be gaining +15% dust and +15% science, making it so I'll gain more dust more quickly and also gain more science. Alright, so it looks like we've got another ruins over here. And we found the haunts. Okay, so haunts are kind of scary. These guys are really strong, so I'm actually going to try to get out of here as quickly as possible after I search this ruin. I need to go up here anyway and keep searching the surrounding area so I can find the best place for me to settle my next city. The minor factions typically tend to spawn units between turns 15 and 30. I think it's a little randomized. However, they will start spawning units after that point, and it's going to make traveling across minor regions a lot scarier. So I'm going to need to kind of book it out of here pretty soon. Okay, I got 30 dust from that. It's not bad. So this region, let's take a look at this, see what we got. So we've got an oasis, and the oasis is improving this tile by giving it +6 food and also +2 dust. That's not bad. So if I wanted a lot of dust, this place wouldn't be bad either, because also we get a decent amount of science. And if I were to build, for instance, a city, perhaps. Well, you know, the problem is this ruin is kind of blocking me. You know, now that I think of it, it's probably not going to be the best. See, I would take this place, and I still may. I may go back on what I'm saying now, but having a ruin here makes it a big problem because it makes it so I can't actually expand in this direction because the ruin is taking up a tile already. Unfortunately, you can't just like terraform it and get rid of the ruin once it's been spent. It's just kind of stuck there, which is a little annoying. And if I had my way, I would have liked to settle like right here. That way I can get all the dust and the science from here and then expand to here and then expand down here. But unfortunately, the ruin here is going to give me a few problems. But I don't know. We'll see. That might be a nice place to settle later, but I think there are some better ones that I can find. Alright, so let's go send my little army up here. See what we can find. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. Alright, so we've got a ruin over here. We'll search that next turn. And then in 3 turns, my mint is going to be done. And it may actually take a lot less time since I got an extra builder. Let's see if moving a builder will make a difference. It won't really. So we'll put my builder over with the food production for now. Or should I do gold? It's only gives me a +4 bonus. That's not really significant. Actually, I'm going to put my an extra worker in science because it's going to reduce the amount of turns it's going to take me to get my next technology by 1. That'll be pretty helpful. So we'll put him in there for right now. Alright, and then it looks like we've actually found our first faction. We found the light blue faction. Now, I can see his borders here. However, I haven't actually gone inside the territory yet, so I won't actually approach him just yet. But I think I'll do so. See who they are anyway. That'll probably be helpful to me. Especially since they've got a ruin right here. We could loot that. Huh. So they must be up here somewhere, because the ruins, I mean the border of this region is kind of like right here. So they must be hiding up here somewhere. Okay, well, we'll find them eventually. Just have to wait an extra turn or so, you know. Okay, alright, and now let's move my hero over here and search these temple ruins. Oh, we found nothing? That's a shame. Alright, well, in that case, I'm just going to move back. It's not really worth my time trying to find those guys right now. Okay, and we've got some orcs here. We may have to watch out for those. I'm actually going to move out of this territory right now because one of my dervishes is still wounded. And then once I get a full movement point stack, so when I get to the next turn and I get all my movement points, I'll move in here again because I'll be able to move more than the orcs will because all of my troops are mounted. And that's the advantage that I have, is that I can run around really easily without having any problems. Alright, so now that I've built the Empire Mint, I guess that was actually a pretty good choice. Now that I've done that, I've actually started gaining a lot of dust. I'm producing +12. That's okay for the early game. I typically end up producing more, but I'm not really doing that well this game, but you know, it's alright. And now that we've done that, we're going to start producing the mill, the foundry, which is going to give me a +6 industry bonus and then a +15% industry bonus on top of that. And pretty much, as the roving clans, that amount of industry is really all you're going to need, because once you get to the mid and the late game, you're just going to be pretty much buying everything you need, and you won't actually ever need to use industry ever again. So this mill foundry is really all you need for building something up, you know. Okay. Alright, so now that we've done that, I'm actually going to... Let's see. Okay, so dragging and dropping this unit, it's not really going to reduce the amount of turns it takes to get that mill foundry. So we'll just leave that be. And now, the prices of these units have gone up, as I said. So as the turns go on, the units in the heroes page and on the stockpile in the marketplace, they only get more and more expensive as time goes on. So you want to try to buy the hero you need for the roving clans as early as possible. I'm setting a little bit of a bad example because I'm not getting a lot of dust. However, it's, you know, it's okay. We'll survive. And it looks like actually we still don't have any. It doesn't really make a difference because it looks like we still don't have any ardent mage heroes. That's really surprising. Huh. Okay. And it appears we can actually get my first empire plan if I want to. Now, I'm not going to do this, like I said, because there's not really many things in the empire plan that are really worth it early game. I usually like to wait till the second empire plan comes out when I can get a little bit more cool stuff. Alright, so let's keep exploring this area, see what we can find. Alright, so it looks like these orcs have actually kind of roved over into my land. We may have to take care of them after all. Let me see if I can actually kind of drag them towards me. This would be a pretty good area to engage them. Actually, no, probably this area, because we want an area with open terrain, because in combat, moving through forest takes 2 movement points instead of 1. So, since you want to try to take advantage of the dervishes' charge ability as much as possible, you want to pick an area with a lot of flat land. That way you won't suffer any movement penalties, because you want to travel as many spaces as you can before you attack an enemy, because that way you'll do the maximum amount of damage as possible. So if I can get over here before these guys attack me next turn, which they probably will, the neutral factions typically try to like charge you immediately. So if I can get up here before they go at me, then that would be great. Oh, they didn't though. This game continues to surprise me. I keep thinking I know everything the AI is going to do, and you know, I don't. Huh. It's kind of cool. Alright, so we've got some moss pearls up here, so that's going to make it so this tile is going to have 2 food and then 6 science. It's not bad at all. Let's go see what we've got up here, because this is actually pretty nice. We get some nice dust from here, from the steel stocks, some extra production, a lot of science, a lot of food. This would actually be a pretty good, well-rounded tile to build something in the future. But I want to see what else is here before I make any decisions. Okay, so we've got a little bit of ocean right here. Now, unfortunately, I wouldn't actually be able to go and expand over and take this ocean, and that's the one thing is you really need to be careful about. So if this region boundary extended to cover this ocean, I would be able to expand my city and then also work these tiles, but because this region of Almed stops right here, I cannot even access these region tiles. So this actually, even though this may seem like a good place, it actually isn't really the best, because you can get some dust, but there's not really any way to improve the dust production of these tiles because they're just grasslands. So I'm not actually going to settle here at any time soon unless I really need a place to settle. So we're going to leave that be for now. Alright, so let's end the turn. And then it looks like the orcs are moving that way. I don't think they're really going to do anything to me, so I'll just keep moving for the time being. See what we... Oh, and we found another temple ruins. That's good. Now right here, this looks kind of good. Yeah, see this is good. We get a lot of, we've got some gold in this area, and as you can see, if we actually get gold, which is a luxury resource, and we activate it, all of my cities will cost minus 50 dust for their upkeep per turn, which makes it so that's a huge bonus. And also, all of my cities will gain +5 approval, so that's really nice. And then also here, we gain access to a lot of water tiles, and then also we gain access to the chromatic land, which gives us an extra 2 dust and also 2 science and food here. So this may be a potentially good spot. I'm probably going to explore up here and see what we can find. So probably the next place I'm going to go is either going to be like right here, because we get all this nice little dust right here, or we're going to go over here. And I'm not really sure exactly what place I want to go to next, but I'll be figuring that out in due time. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's explore this ruin. And we got 30 dust. Okay, it's alright. Would have liked something a little bit more, but you know, it's random. There's not really much you can do about it. Now I do have a ruin over here. I will explore that in due time, but I want to explore this region first and figure out what's over there. Okay, and then I think my hero actually leveled up without me noticing. He did, or she did, excuse me. So this hero, I can give her bonuses for vision, or I can make it so she has trade route bonuses. Now, right now, my hero, I will be attaching this hero to govern my city in due time because she does improve a city's dust pretty well. It gives you +2 dust per population on a city and also +1% flat per your hero's level. So if I put her on a city, they gain 4% dust and then also +2 for every population. So, you know, it's not bad. However, I'm not going to be doing that just yet because we still need her to be an army leader. So we're going to probably get farsighted, which is going to increase the vision on the units that she's part of. And it's, you know, it's actually pretty good. You can see now that it's extended my range a little bit and given me a little bit more vision, which also means that's less time I'm going to have to spend traveling to different places because I can see farther. Okay. So now we can see in this region we've got glass steel, which is a good strategic resource early game. You do need that. And we've also got some gold. Okay. And now that we've explored this region, we can take a look and see what we've got going on here. Okay, so if we were to settle here, we'd get 6 science. Not bad. With a couple buildings to upgrade that, we could make that into a pretty decent resource. And then we get about 2... If we were to settle right here, or actually, no, right here would probably be better, because that way we would actually... Because, like I said, when you settle your city, you actually lose 1 food on the tile that you settle it on. So if I were to settle it right here, we wouldn't lose any food at all, and we would actually maintain all the current resources. So if I were to settle my city right here, I would gain 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 15 dust just in the beginning. That's pretty good. So this may be a good place to relocate one of my fully developed cities later. So I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind as another potential place to settle later. Alright, but I'll send this guy over to go take a look at the ruins, and then it looks like next turn we're actually going to be done with our foundry, which is going to increase my production significantly over in Graldom. So now that we've done that, let's take a look and see what we can do next. Okay, so if I move this guy away... Okay, so it won't really make a difference if I put another worker over here in the city's production info. So the next best thing then would be to probably increase my gold output so I can try to get my Ardent Mage's hero. So we're going to leave him there. After the geometric lab, I keep calling it geometric, the geomic labs and the Jodis rebuilding of the village, I'm probably going to get my first settler. So we'll queue that up now. And then I think after that we'll get some public libraries and then most likely some burrows. But we'll leave that for later because I may relocate the city depending on what I want to do. Alright, so we're going to end my turn. Okay. Alright, and let's search this ruin. We got 40 dust. That's pretty good. Okay, alright. I can take that. That's good. Alright, and let's go take a look at this, and then I think we'll be done for now.